So I'm a black farmer, and a lot of people are wondering, why are black farmers not panicking like a lot of white farmers? Well, let me explain to you the reasons why. It's because white farmers have been handed everything to them, a lot of them. Not saying all of them, but a good bit of them. And by that I mean this. MLK even pointed out, he says, farmers in the West and the Midwest who were white, they were given land, they were given money, they were given training, they were given a lot. Whereas the black farmers weren't given anything, and the largest civil rights settlement in U.S. history is Pickford v. Glickman, where you had a class action lawsuit, bunch of black farmers all joined the lawsuit, and they won a huge settlement because the USDA was shown to be racist for decades. So because black farmers haven't been given anything, we've been learning to do without, unlike your white farmers. So when things are taken away from you, all your subsidies, all your tax breaks, guess what? You panic. Whereas we've always been going through this shit. So there's problems in privilege.
The white farmers on Twitter were thinking black people were going to come work on their farms.
They thought, what? I've been a financial analyst for about over 20 years, probably 21. Count me out. I'm busy.
Hold on, so let me get this straight. The white farmers in Louisiana, they're mad because people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100-degree heat for 10 plus hours a day. Let me run that back. White farmers are mad. The very farmers that voted Republican, okay, they voted for this, are mad that people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100-degree heat for 10 plus hours a day. I'm saying you get what you ask for. Hey, it's FAFO type shit, okay? But hey, don't be fooled. I feel like it's gonna come to a point where they're finna make people get on their farms. Don't count me to it. Because if 2025 was a checklist, hey.
How stupid can you be? First off, we don't even like being outside.
So basically, the black jobs was actually the jobs that the illegal immigrants was working, getting underpaid for. And that's what the Trump plan was the whole goddamn time, was to get us back into these warehouses and in these fields picking strawberries and shit for little pay. I just came across a video that actually brought it all to me and made it make sense. And that's exactly what it is. When he say a black job, those are the jobs that he's talking about. Those illegal immigrants came over here, or even immigrants came over here, and they worked their ass off just for that little pay, which I don't feel that that's right. But he knew that no black person was going to go over there and do all that extra work in this economy and the last economy and get paid that little ass shit. So I just want all my black people to understand, and I want all my black people to know, even if those jobs are available, those jobs are not for you. And if we come over here trying to pick up the slack and pick up where everybody else pick up where they left off, baby, this country ain't gonna do shit but turn us back into fucking slaves. And I'll be damned if I be a motherfucking slave. If that job didn't have open positions when them illegal immigrants was here working them, they ain't got none now.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is Hosting Stories KE. Now, after mass deportation, white farmers thought that the black people were going to line up to apply for these jobs in white farms. They thought that black people were really going to work on white farms at a very low pay. You know, this is what has been happening in the white farms, in the white farmers' farms. They take illegal immigrants or immigrants who are not, doesn't have documents or papers, and come to work in these white farms with a very low pay. But now mass deportation came in. The immigrants are nowhere to be seen. The white farmers are losing 100% of their workforce. Now they are saying that they thought after mass, because they were really advocating for mass deportation, right? They thought after mass deportation, after these immigrants who are working in their farms will be deported back to their countries, they thought that now the remaining black community was going to really work in their farm. But they were in for a rude shock. The black people are saying, it is better we stay jobless. It is better to work in a sewer that is paying quite handsome money rather than to go and work in a white farm. Why? Because if we go to work in that farm, number one, these people are going to pay us, it is going to be a low-paying job, probably $11 per hour, and you are working for 10 hours in those farms. Number two, it is like these people will be their slaves. We will be slaves into the white farms. And that, the black community, we are nowhere to be seen. We came out of that history long time ago. In fact, the black people are saying they are educated enough to get decent jobs, and they doesn't want these small black jobs that the Donald Trump regime is giving them. So the white farmers, they will have to work in their farms themselves. And here's a twist: the black farmers are not crying. The black farmers are not complaining, because they knew these things were happening. They have experience. These things have been happening for the longest time, so they are used to it. They doesn't have resources. They doesn't have workforce. They do things in their farms themselves. But for the white farmers, they are spoon-fed everything, including resources, workers, everything the government is providing. Yeah. But the black farmers are not receiving. So that is why you are seeing these white farmers are complaining. They need this black workforce into their farms. But the black people, here is what they had to say. They are saying, we can't work in those farms. In fact, we are not doing any of these jobs that are there to do with the white people or the white farmers. Check this out. And then at the end, I'll be giving my commentaries. In the meantime, subscribe and let's watch together.
So y'all remember when it was said that we taking all the black jobs? They really thought that we was going to be looking for black jobs, y'all. And I woke up this morning, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw this guy made a video, and I saved it to my favorite, so you can go look for it. And he said he was pretending to be MAGA on one of those other apps. He said they were doing a live, and the farmers were saying that they thought that the black people would be looking for jobs to work on their farms. Now, you got to be kidding me. Do they think we really looking for farm work? Do they not know that we are educated and we got degrees? And being a farm worker ain't even in the jobs categories that we be looking for. They really don't know how educated some of us are. They don't know how many degrees a lot of us have. They got to be really lost if they think that we want to come and work on their farms. They don't know that our parents and our grandparents growing up wouldn't even let us be outside if it wasn't no shade outside. Do they really think that we gonna work on a farm where ain't no shade trees at? I hate to disappoint y'all, baby, but you gonna have to get somebody else to do it, because we ain't working on nobody's farm. Never. The only way you gonna see black people working on a farm is if they own the farm, because we not working on nobody's farm as no workers. So I hate to disappoint y'all. If y'all thought those was black jobs that black people looking for, honey, you better think again, because black folks that I know got good jobs. We've had a black president. We had a black vice president. We got black senators. We got black congressmen. We got black CEOs. We got black doctors. We got black nurses. We got black psychiatrists. We got a lot of good black jobs. Now, I don't know what y'all thought we was going to be farm workers for. We don't even want to work in the fast food industry. Those jobs, we don't want those kind of jobs. So, I hate to disappoint you MAGA people, but we don't do farm work. So get somebody else to do it. I'll like, share, comment, and repost. Drop in the comments y'all education and y'all good black jobs, because they don't think we got
good black jobs out here. So we need to let them see it.
So I just saw this video of this white man who's not MAGA, by the way, or at least he says he's not, but because he damn sure selling the look. But he says he has a fake account over on Twitter, and he joined this group of white farmers, and he's pretending to be MAGA just to see what they're talking about. So apparently they had this group chat or group call where the white MAGA farmers were upset and saying the only reason why they voted for shitty britches was because they thought the blacks didn't have jobs and the blacks would come back and work their fields. They thought they were going to get slavery back by voting for shitty britches. But they have been saying loud and proud with their chest that immigrants were taking their jobs. Yet, there are a couple of farms here in Texas that overnight lost 100% of their workforce. But immigrants was taking their jobs, right? Racism is expensive, huh?
I guess black folks will start lining up for all those farm jobs available. Yeah, maybe if they were being paid an honest wage, yeah, they maybe would. Yeah, and they should, particularly if they're unemployed. But you would rather people be undercut. You would rather have slave labor. You would rather have people unemployed. You'd rather have people making less money because, again, these illegal immigrants undercut wages to the tune of about $2,000 a year. And what's wrong with being a farmer? By 1920, there were 1 million black farmers, and a lot of them owned their farmland. The government came in and took a lot of their farmland through eminent domain. That sucked. But once upon a time, there were a lot of black farmers. There are only about 45,000 black farmers right now. So what's wrong with it? But you'd rather have a bunch of illegal people up in here undercutting jobs and taking jobs from people that could be paid a fair wage. Okay, cool. You really ate with that comment.
Back like I never left. I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard this from me. But there's a guy on here, right, that says that he is in the white supremacy Twitter group, right? And that he likes everybody, but he's infiltrating over there so he can bring the tea back to the black community. And he said that the white farmers of America, and I knew that's what FFA, Future Farmers of America, meant when we was growing up, was because they was trying to make America great again that way. He said that they were on there talking about where's all the black people at. We thought they was gonna come back and work on our farmland when we got rid of the immigrants, meaning the Latino people, because they kept saying that the Latino people had all the black jobs, and what Trump meant when he said black jobs was that they were trying to make us go back to slavery. Yeah, how's that working? Yeah. I'm just, like I said, I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard this from me. Let me know in the comment section what you heard about the future farmers of America, or around and find out farmers of America, or the whatever you heard about them. Let me know.
Them farmers really thought we was going back to them fields. They really thought we was going back to them fields. You know what? My mother was the first generation on her mother's side not to be brought up on a plantation. Not to be brought up on a plantation. That's what I said. My grandfather had a 3rd grade education, but he left my mama 2 houses, property in the bank, property and money in the bank, with a 3rd grade education. And guess what? He worked in fields. My great grandmother worked in fields and cut that cane just like a man. You hear me? And if you think that Eddie Lewis and Victoria C. Jones and all the rest of my ancestors bust their tail in them fields for us to go back to the fields, absolutely not. That's not progress. We're trying to heal from ancestral trauma. We trying to heal from that. That ain't happening. That produce could rot in them fields before we go back to them fields. They need to let them know that.
Oh no, this is so sad. There are a bunch of white Texas farmers who are losing their farms right now. Because guess what? 100% of their workforce vanished. Wow. So all those people, who got eyes called on them, they were working on the farms. So now that they're gone, they cannot sustain the farms. You know what's crazy about this video? Because I talked about this like 2 months ago when Trump brought over all these South Afrikaners, farm people, where we find out that they were not really even farmers. And I was talking about this and found out that a few of our dear white farmers here had started losing their farms because of promises that were made to them and was not kept by this administration. So now it's trickling down to some other farmers because now their workforce, they're gone. And I was seeing somewhere where somebody came over, and it was a Caucasian man. He came over from Twitter, and he was like, y'all, a lot of these farmers, white farmers, they thought that black people were going to come and work for their farms. There's a lot going on in this country right now. Us heading into possibly World War II. But this is a conversation just to kind of talk about right now. That people are kind of seeing I guess, what's the word? I can't even find the word, but the decisions that they made, they are coming back to hunt them. Let's just say that. So sorry to hear this, but yeah. So I do hope that some of these Native Americans that did lose their lands, that they do get back some of these farms that are being lost.
So yesterday I made a video talking about the white farmers and how they were crashing out all over social media because they voted for Shitty Bridges and thought he was going to give them back slaves. And also, because of that, they lost 100% of their workforce due to the ICE raids. I want to come on here today and I want to give some love to black farmers who I don't think get enough, right? I can appreciate that they are not on the internet spazzing out and crashing out. You want to know why? It's because whatever is going on in the current climate when it comes to farming, they're not new to this because they have faced adversity, not being given what they need in order to be successful, unlike their white counterparts, right? Because they have been spoon-fed everything they've needed in order for them to be successful. And now that that privilege and entitlement is gone because of who they voted for, they're on the internet trying to garner some favor and some sympathy. Meanwhile, black farmers, chilling. They cool as cucumbers because guess why? They know how to handle themselves and their farms during times of crisis. I guess favor ain't fair after all, huh?
So you see, that is the hardest reality. The truth that the white farmers don't want to hear. They don't want to hear it mentioned anywhere. The black community are saying they doesn't want to work in these farms. They are educated enough. They have decent jobs. They know how to handle their things. These people will pay them a very low pay. Black slavery is a thing for the past. They can't advocate for black slavery anymore. That is why you see they are saying we'd rather stay jobless. We'd rather stay indoors. In fact, we are used to staying indoors rather than to go and work in a white farm. These people will see us as jobless. And by the way, you people really advocated for mass deportation. Yeah? MAGA advocated for mass deportation. They didn't want to know that these immigrants were really, the mass deportation they were advocating for will also target the immigrants that were working in their farm. And these immigrants will be taken away. So they will remain with zero workforce. 100% of their workforce will go in terms of immigrant slavery. Now, the immigrants are nowhere to be seen. And those immigrants who are in the states illegally or not legally, who have document, who have the legal requirement to live in the states, they can't go into these farms because they are afraid of being snitched out for the ICE raids. You know, when ICE raids come, they doesn't care if you have papers or not. They will first deport you before they confirm if you are legally to live in the states or not. So the remaining immigrants can't work in their farms. They are afraid of the ICE raids. They are afraid of the small, low pay. These people are paying pathetic money. They are not willing to pay workers enough money to feel like indeed you are working somewhere, and you are working long hours, 10 hours plus with low pay. So after these immigrants went, they thought that the only solution now is let's try and convince the black community to come and work for us. And the black community are nowhere to be seen. So in fact, some of them are saying, if you are willing to pay us enough, you know, when the black people say enough, there is no enough. So when they say enough, these people will have to pay a lot of money to convince the black people, those black people who are willing to work in these farms. But the rest of the black people who are not willing, they are saying, no, we'd rather die. We'd rather stay jobless rather than to go and work in these farms. And hey, white farmers, these are just the fruits of your labor. You voted for this government. You voted for this regime. You advocated for it. You really emphasized on mass deportation. Now the immigrants are nowhere to be seen. So you'll have to do that job yourselves. You'll have to get used to it. You'll have to wake up at dawn, sleep late, work for hours alone in the hot sun, in the cold, tend to all the things yourselves with your family, because the black people are nowhere to be seen. Again, this government promised you this. You didn't want to listen. They promised they were going to introduce mass deportation. These tariffs, they are also affecting you, because the tariffs that are included in the states, the farmers, if they have products, these products can't be shipped in other countries, because other countries like China, Mexico, Canada, Australia, they are afraid of doing business with United States farmers because of their imposed tariffs. So these tariffs are also affecting them. And the people warned them. They didn't want to listen. Yeah, so I think they're just eating some berries, eating some fruits of their labor. Yeah, in short, these are the consequences of their votes. They are receiving exactly what they voted for. And the black people are not willing anytime soon to work into this farm. Tell me what you think, guys, in the comment section. Let's have a discussion. What do you think? Do you think the black people are going to work in these farms? Or should the white farmers made their bed, so they should die on that bed? They voted for this and they are receiving what they voted for? Tell me what you think in the comment section, guys. Let's have a discussion, and I hope to see you in my next video. Adios and subscribe.